the day before President Donald Trump was signing the big, beautiful bill, I got a couple phone calls from people that you would call members of the ruling class. A lot of money and a lot of connections. They said, Charlie, isn't this amazing? We passed the big, beautiful bill. I said, oh, yes, sir. And they said, now we need mass amnesty. What? I said, we haven't even signed the bill yet. They said, yeah, you know, these deportations, we're going to lose the midterms because of the deportations. The people on the right, they'll understand. And we need to come to the middle and we need to legalize the 25 million people here in this country. I was speechless.
There's a lot of talk right now that Trump is looking to make illegal immigrants, give them amnesty, just like Ronald Reagan did. And this is what he said on July 3rd.
Tom Homan. And we're working on legislation right now. Susie, right? We're working on legislation right now where farmers, look, they know better. They work with them for years. You had cases where, not here, but just even over the years, where people have worked for a farm on a farm for 14, 15 years, and they get thrown out pretty viciously. And we can't do it. We got to work with the farmers and people that have hotels and leisure properties too.
Can't do it.
We're going to work with them, and we're going to work very strong and smart. And we're going to put you in charge. We're going to make you responsible. And I think that that's going to make a lot of people happy. Now, serious radical right people, who I also happen to like a lot, they may not be quite as happy, but they'll understand, won't they? Do you think so? Madam Secretary, look at you.
So they'll understand. So the people who I promised that I would deport illegal immigrants and stop them from taking, they're going to understand. They're going to understand what, Trump? That we're going to not deport people like we said, and we're not going to deport farm workers or hotel workers or construction workers, or we're not going to deport any of those people. And so what does that mean? That sounds like he's going to give them amnesty. It
sounds like H-1B visa stuff to me.
What's that?
Sounds like Vivek Pastrami talk to me.
Sounds like Vivek Pastrami talk. Here's from Newsweek. Donald Trump warned of move that could break MAGA coalition.
Not Epstein, this. Okay.
So here's, listen to what Charlie Kirk said. Listen to what Charlie Kirk said.
But you would think that, hey, we get $175 billion for ICE. We're going to get mass deportations.
So in the big, beautiful bill, there's $175 billion for ICE. So he's saying, oh, they're going to do mass deportation. No, they're just going to build up they're going to build an infrastructure of prisons, right? So that's money going to private prison industry. That's the next step. I've always said this. So capitalism, when capitalism gets in its end stage, capitalism eats itself. When it gets into its end stage, after you've screwed all the workers and the regular people, you've siphoned all the money out of it, you've created a two-tier society of super poor and hardworking and super wealthy. They then have to, instead of fixing the problems, they just create a police state. This is not me talking. This has been talked about, predicted by genius people for hundreds of years, that the end stage capitalism is fascism. And we've already had fascism a lot since at least 9/11. We've had we live in a surveillance state. Edward Snowden proved that. So you don't have any of those Fourth Amendment protections you thought you had. We live in a surveillance state. Also, what they did during COVID was they could shut down your business. They could make it illegal for you to go outside. They can force you to take an experimental medical treatment. They could do that was 100% fascism. And now that's now comes the police state. And that's what that money is going to be used for. But let's listen to what Charlie Kirk has to say about amnesty. Listen to this. This might blow your mind. You already heard Trump say the people on the right are going to be okay with me giving amnesty. That's basically what he said. Here's what Charlie Kirk says.
But you would think that, hey, we get $175 billion for ICE. We're going to get mass deportations. We're going to be able to have now the largest deportation effort ever. Yes, in theory. But in practice, there's something else afoot. Literally the day before President Donald Trump was signing the big, beautiful bill, I got a couple phone calls from people that you would call members of the ruling class. A lot of money and a lot of connections. They said, Charlie, isn't this amazing? We passed the big, beautiful bill. I said, oh, yes, sir. And they said, now we need mass amnesty. What? I said, we haven't even signed the bill yet. They said, yeah, you know, these deportations, we're going to lose the midterms because of the deportations. The people on the right, they'll understand. And we need to come to the middle and we need to legalize the 25 million people here in this country. I was speechless. Because here I am actually thinking, a little naive, we're going to sign this big, beautiful bill. And we're actually going to get mass deportations uninterrupted from an asymmetrical attack. So we have somewhere between 20 to 50 million illegal aliens in this country. We don't actually know the numbers. These are all guesstimates. These are all just approximations. And there is a movement afoot as I am doing this broadcast. And this is bigger than anything with Epstein. This is bigger than anything with tax cuts. It is happening right now in Washington, D.C. And I can say this from firsthand experience, that people are pushing President Trump for amnesty. They are pushing him for mass legalization of illegals. Now, President Donald Trump, of course, would never push for amnesty. But President Donald Trump said something at a rally on July 3rd, and my phone lit up like you wouldn't imagine. President Donald Trump was talking about potentially doing a bipartisan compromise deal for illegals that have stolen Social Security numbers, that are illegally domiciling themselves here in the country, that are all felons. Every single one of them are felons. They're just not yet indicted felons. But if they're here illegally, you're a felon. It's against federal law. We've gone through all the different federal laws that you break by being here. And this is President Donald Trump speaking at the Iowa rally saying that we might need to do some form, he didn't use the word amnesty, but some form of soft amnesty. And I can tell you now, through other reporting that I've been able to do and phone calls, there is a major push right now to do a bipartisan amnesty deal, a major push. People are trying to push the president, hey, you got the money for ICE, now we need to go move to the middle on immigration.
So, wow,
Charlie. Hey, the big beautiful bill was a big piece of shit. You didn't know that, Charlie? Like, you were great. We passed the big beautiful bill.
So
what, are you stupid?
I'm surprised because the overwhelming polling, even among Republicans, they were against the big beautiful bill. It's a very unpopular bill, and they're pretending like it's a big win for the establishment. It's not a big win for you. It's that the $175 billion for ICE, but they're going to cut your health care. Yes, the answer is yes. They're going to give a couple extra $100 billion to the Pentagon that nobody wanted, but they're going to cut your health care. Yes. The answer is yes. And now Trump's going to do amnesty. He's not going to, believe me, they're not going to wreck the economy by getting rid of the 15 million illegal immigrants that are in the United States, or 20 million, whoever knows. That's not going to happen.
Or by exposing Epstein, which would also wreck the economy.
Right.
The whole government would collapse if they told you the truth about anything. That's where you live.
Trump has, this is according to Newsweek, Trump has prioritized immigration enforcement, and he campaigned on a promise of mass deportation. Last month, he directed federal immigration officials to prioritize deportations from Democrat-run cities after protests erupted in Los Angeles and other cities against the administration's immigration policies. But at the same time, he reportedly told U.S. Immigration and ICE to pause arrests on farms, restaurants, and hotels amid an alarm at the impact aggressive enforcement is having on industries that heavily rely on illegal immigrant, they say foreign workers, on illegal immigrants. The administration later reversed that decision. So he said stop doing it, but now according to Newsweek, he said go back to doing it. So here's an unbelievable moment. Agricultural Secretary Rollins says mass deportations will continue with no amnesty for migrant workers. Let's watch.
But it's not an amnesty, you're saying, but it will be allowing farmers to continue to work with some undocumented workers. Have I got that right?
Well, ultimately, we have to move toward a 100% legal workforce, and that's what this president stands for, and that's what we're doing. The mass deportations will continue, but the president has been very clear that we have to make sure we're not compromising our food supply at the same time. So again, Congress has to fix it. Our Secretary of Labor is on it. We've talked about it nonstop.
Okay.
Our
It
H-2A
sounds like
visa
you don't
program
yet have a
continues.
concrete proposal to deal with farmers who rely on undocumented workers. Am I right?
Well, no, we are working on it. There's a concierge
You're working on it, but that's
system
not a
that's been
concrete
set up.
proposal.
Well, no, the president has been very, very clear. We need to make sure that the food supply is safe.
Yeah.
Lori Chavez-DeRimmer is on it. She is leading the way. The H-2A program has been in place for a long time. The border has to be secure, and there will be no amnesty. So, listen, none of this is easy. We weren't put in place here for any easy
I agree with you
solutions,
100%.
but
It ain't easy.
The president is moving forward.
It's not easy, but I don't think it's fair to say there is a concrete proposal when you're still working out details to try to deal with the needs of farmers who need a lot of these undocumented workers, and at the same time not providing an amnesty. But I do want to move.
So these are very contradictory things, although the Fox News guy points out that, hey, you don't have a proposal. You don't have. So,
well, Jimmy, we got to come to the middle, because remember the fake protests about deporting illegals that are clearly a setup so that they can say this stupid shit about we got to stop this and come together, because Ukraine and Russia won't, and the other thing. So now the manufactured conflict. It's the same team. You see that, right?
So Trump has said that legislation is in the works to allow some migrant workers to remain in the country. However, it's unclear when such legislation will be introduced.
Oh, maybe they snuck it in the big beautiful bill. Hope.
And Wall Street Apes tweets out, Charlie Kirk confirms there is a push for President Trump to sign a mass amnesty deal, specifically for illegal farm workers. Donald Trump saying that they are working on legislation right now to provide mass amnesty for illegal farm workers. I did not vote for this. That's what Wall Street Ape says. And of course, he didn't just say farm workers. He said hotel workers. He said restaurant workers. JJ Carell says, I am the biggest Trump supporter, but he is making a huge mistake talking about effing amnesty for farm and hotel workers. Who in the hell is advising this insanity? MAGA falls if he pushes his betrayal. First of all, Trump was always going to break MAGA, right? Just like he breaks everything he's ever been involved with throughout his entire existence. How about let's go fly on Trump Airlines to enjoy a Trump steak at Trump Tower to celebrate graduation from Trump University? No? What happened? Of course he's going to break MAGA. Road Dog for America says, did you hear him the other day? One other president did that, and there was no food. Vast Americans don't want to do the hard work for low wages. They want to do the hard work. Right. They want to do the hard work, but not for substandard living wage. So to stop saying Americans won't do hard jobs. Mike Rowe had a whole TV series about the hard jobs Americans do willingly because they're paid a living wage. So you want slave labor. That's what the agribusiness wants. That's what the hotels industry wants.
Name. Road Dog for America First. So that's clearly some either a AI thing that does it or somebody who's paid to do it.
So now they're saying, he's saying, no, this is common sense. You got to give. So here's one more. Trump's number one goon. He says, mass deportations meant everyone, Mr. President. No carve-outs, no amnesty, only total expulsion. They violated the law, and companies who hired them knowing this should be fined and face legal repercussions. So that's what the MAGA wants. That's what they thought they were presenting. This guy's an op. But look at this. I'm the biggest Trump supporter. Dear idiots, Trump is supposed to be a you supporter. You're not supposed to support these people. That's right.
You haven't figured that out yet?
You're not supposed to be loyal to a politician. The politician's supposed to be loyal to you. And when the politician isn't loyal to you, that's when you call him out.
I got to teach an alpha male voter class or something for people?
Here's a few more. We need to know all the names that want amnesty. No secrets. Why? They will all be primaried. Give us the list.
No, just Massey will be.
Yeah. Real Donald Trump needs to know, and maybe he does, just the sheer massive and colossal uproar and assured fracture that this would cause in his up until now loyal base, the very base that has given him the freedom and strength to fight and do the things he does with backing. He does this, that will no doubt be the beginning of the end. I think the beginning of the end has already started. Once the ramifications of the big, beautiful bill get known, that Republicans will lose the Congress in the midterms. And just as Steve Bannon said, you can't come in and cut health care for working MAGA people.
Democrats will maybe promise to give you a little bit back that they took from you because this is how the Punch and Judy game works.
That's right.
But you can see like people aren't on board, but they're pushing the same propaganda as if we all fell for it. So what they're going to do is Trump's going to make you mad, and then it's going to be time to vote for the Democrat. They're going to have a fake like that Zaviv Krav Maga New York guy that they pulled out of their ass like an AOC. All the socialist bullshit, that's all compromise. It's there as a controlled burn to get your energy out so you can just come to the middle. We got to come to the middle.
That guy who's Zolof Mondavi from New York, he is everybody thinks he's the real deal. He's another Barack Obama.
How do you think that?
There are people who are. I don't think that, Kurt. But there are lots of people.
I know,
and even people in this space for sure who think that he's the real deal. If that guy isn't the next Barack Obama, I'll eat my hat. Just like Barack Obama gave you health care, but he didn't. What he did was he gave a giveaway to big pharma and health insurance companies. And how do I know that for sure? I know that for sure because the day after the bill passed, the stock price of the health insurance companies and Big Pharma went through the roof. That's how you know that was a giveaway. That's how you know that was a right-wing healthcare plan invented by the Heritage Foundation, which also invented Project 2025. So
yeah, well,
that's
it
who
was
that
Mitt Romney's,
and that
somehow that was fun. Yeah,
and that's who that I jokingly call him Zoloft Mondavi. What's his real name? I've said it so.
I like what you're saying.
I've said the fake name so
who
often.
gives a shit?
Zoran Mondani. Okay, I've said the fake name so many times now as a
Hey,
joke.
look, he's like an AI. Like the AI studied you, what your dumb liberal heart thinks could win, and made this fake for you.
So just keep in mind that guy Zoloft Mondavi was against the workers who refused the vaccine. He was on side of the establishment pushing the mandated vaccine. That's who that guy is. So he might do something that looks like he cares about the people, just like Barack Obama. It looked like he cared about the people with the healthcare bill, but of course that wasn't. That wasn't for the people. That was for big business. Just like when Barack Obama came in and kicked 5.1 million families out of their homes during the banking crisis and made sure the bankers got their bonuses. That's what this Mondavi guy is going to. What's his? Mamdani guy in New York is going to be. He's going to be another Barack Obama. And I can't believe the people who I respect who are falling for this.
Well, when I saw that AOC was supporting him, I was like, oh.
Yeah, you know this guy's a
thank
scam. He's a scammer.
They're on the same team.
If the DSA's behind him, AOC's behind him, I'm pretty sure he's getting Soros money. Is he not?
I should hope so.
I should hope so.
Listen, everybody's a Disney. America's a nation of Disney adults. You know how sad that is? It's like being a diaper furry.
So anyway, I don't know how I got off on this. This is about Trump and Charlie Kirk announcing there's a big push for amnesty. Look out.
Blumenthal called it on that other tweet from the other story because what I said about Trump is no, Trump's big thing is he supports you. That was his big appeal. And I go, and by the way, I have never voted, never broke my streak. I'm proud to say, because if he had done anything, I would go, oh, I was wrong and voting does work. But no, it doesn't. You're screwed no matter what. And everybody's going to keep playing ball for career reasons. I watch it every day.
Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Toronto, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts, Concord, New Hampshire, Oxnard, California, Rutherford, New Jersey, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.